many people have money trouble is not really surprising. What may surprise you is the extent to which seriously delinquent debts have now given birth to an entire debt-buying industry.
When most consumers get a call and say, I'm calling on your Bank of America debt, you assume that it's someone at Bank of America. But what happens is Bank of America has sold off that debt for pennies on the dollar years ago, and it's been bought and sold and bought and sold and bought and sold. Most of the big banks do it, and not just banks, but payday loans, book club membership, gym fees, auto loans. Every year, billions of dollars of this debt is sold off cheap.
It's true. Debt-buying companies like these, that you've probably never heard of, have amassed a huge amount of Americans' debt. In fact, the largest, Encore Capital Group, which has these subsidiaries, tell investors that 1 in 5 consumers either owes them money now or has owed them money in the past. But as you will see, almost every step of how this industry is allowed to operate is problematic. And let's start at the very beginning. Let's say you have a $1,000 credit card debt that you can't pay. At a certain point, your bank might write off the full $1,000 on its taxes and then, to make just a little extra money, sell it off to a debt buyer for a tiny fraction of the cost, maybe $50. And that debt buyer can then come after you for the full original amount. And if it can't collect, potentially it can then resell that debt for a fraction of what it paid to someone else who can still come after you for the original amount, or sell it for a fraction of what it paid, and so on and so on and so on. Now, you might think the information changing hands would include a lot of verifiable information, but you would be wrong.
It's, I think, helpful to understand that when I talk about debt that's being bought and sold here, we're really just talking about an Excel spreadsheet. The spreadsheet will have debtor's name, social security number, address, balance, date that the account was opened, maybe 1 or 2 other fields, but that's basically about it.
That's right. The information about your debt may be sold in an Excel spreadsheet, which is troubling for 2 reasons. First, nothing good happens in Excel. Most of us go into a cold sweat if we just open it by accident. Oh, God! Oh, no, please, no! Let me go back in time and fix this! No! As for debt buyers, they aren't always scrupulous about checking their information before collecting, which is why it is not surprising to see incidents like this.
I opened the door and an envelope was thrown at me and the guy said, "You've been served," and left. Supposedly it was a debt that I owed. It was right under $5,000. It was with a company I never had a card with. It's humiliating. It's intimidating. It provokes a lot of...
It's not just being sued for a debt you don't recognise. Buyers can end up harassing you over debt that is past the statute of limitations, or that you've discharged through bankruptcy, or that you've paid. You may have seen stories like this on local news because it's got a fun name.
Is called zombie debt. That's debt that you thought was dead, but starts to take on a whole new life, much like a zombie.
Buried old debt coming back to life.
Once a company has bought your debt, whether the information is accurate or not, they are going to try to collect on it. And they can either do that themselves or assign it to a collection agency. And while many collectors work within the bounds of the law, some behave like this.
James, give me my money back. I want my money, or else I'll kill you.
And if you refuse to answer the door to me, I guarantee you, I will wake up every neighbor in your entire building.
It's just a loser. Why don't you just go jump in front of the train?
You want to be a man, or you want to hide behind a telephone like a little bitty mouse? We're going to have your dog arrested, we're going to shoot him out, we're going to eat him.
Whoa! Whoa! That is not just horrifying, it's stupid. How are you going to put handcuffs on a dog? They don't have wrists. The cuffs are just going to slip straight off their doggy paws. Your plan is silly. And some debt collectors won't just stop at calling you. Listen to an employee of an upstate New York debt buyer explain one of his tactics to a hidden camera.
One of the things that I like to do, which is pretty nasty though, is that I'll find out where somebody works, and then I'll find out who the owner of their company is, find out their number, and call them at home. I love that. Call the boss at home. That's my favorite thing to do.
That's your favorite thing?